Good morning. Welcome to our customer webinar. Sorry, I just almost tripped over Kevin's foot. We've got a little height difference, so it's all good.
Yeah, I can't stand all the way up because then I'd be like this. So,
we
make it work. Yeah, we make it work.
Well, welcome to our January customer webinar. As always, we're just going to wait a minute or so to let everyone get logged in. If this is your very first BombBomb webinar, I'm going to go over just a couple housekeeping items. I'm Alicia. This is Kevin. He's our client enablement manager.
Can't say that 10 times fast, right?
I can't. It's too early for that. So a couple housekeeping items for you. Down at the bottom of your screen, you have a little toolbar and there is a chat option. So go ahead and pop open that chat window if you would like. Tell us where you're joining us from. We have Alexa and Aaron that are going to be moderating the chat. So they're going to be in the chat. They can kind of answer some questions from time to time, but here's the second piece and the most important piece. If you have that chat window open and you see how fast things are scrolling through, questions get lost in chat. So if you have questions that are pertinent to the content, you want to make sure we answer them. You have questions about product, you're going to put them in the Q&A box. Now, they might answer some of those questions as we go through. They're going to save some of them at the end, and we will absolutely take a time for questions at the end. So, chat window, you can interact with your webinar attendees. If there's something that you like, you can throw that in the chat window. Yeah. Let us know that you're enjoying the content, and then again, keep those questions in the Q&A box.
Guys, we're excited. We're excited to be talking about this. This has been fun because it's beginning of the year. We're really starting to dive into what are we shooting for this year, right? What are our goals? And so that's what we're going to focus on a lot today, is how to scale yourself in order to reach those goals, right? So that, we put on here the fastest ways to save time in your sales process. Of course, we're going to talk about video and how to use video in scalable ways. But mostly what we're going to keep coming back to, and what you're probably going to hear a couple of times from us today, is going back to you and the goals that you're wanting to reach in your business, because that's where all of this stuff makes sense.
Yeah.
So our agenda today is actually really, really simple. We're going to talk about some time management tools, some different strategies that you can use to really get the most out of every day that you're using. We're going to talk about integrations and our Chrome extension here at BombBomb. So that's going to be more video specific, because we want you guys to know how this can integrate, how this helps you scale by working where you're already working.
Yep.
We don't want this to take any longer from that standpoint. Number 3 there, evergreen videos. If you've been with us before, this is not a new term for you. For those of you that have not joined one of our webinars or been with BombBomb very long, we'll talk about that, how you can use videos time and time again and be really efficient with those. And then last but not least, we always do this. You've gotten used to this. Examples. We're going to show you real examples of people in lots of different industries and how they're doing some of these different techniques to kind of help grow their business from that standpoint. So really simple. And I really wanted to break this down when you're starting out to kind of make this something that's very real, something that we can all relate to. So I want you to take a step, even go back to this morning, right? When you were driving into work or getting ready to pull your laptop out or whatever that is, I want you to think about what your expectation was for your day, right? What was your plan? What was kind of your goal for that? I know for a lot of us, myself included, I usually have a pretty linear plan. I've got like, okay, this is how it's going to work. I've got a few appointments set up. Here's when I'm going to do some different things. But I want you to think back on how often that actually happens, right? So this is kind of our expectation and our plan for the day. How many of you can relate to this reality of your daily workflow? I know we were joking about this before we hopped on. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yep. My list from yesterday, this was my list of to-do things. And I only crossed off 2 of them, but I added, I think, 4 or 5.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So you actually came out of the day with more things on your list.
Exactly.
I was joking with Alicia. I add things after I've done them to my lists so I can cross them off, just so I feel like I've accomplished
that sense
things,
of accomplishment.
Right? So, and there's a million different reasons for this. Like for you yesterday, it was more stuff just came up that you couldn't expect. You couldn't, predict any of those sort of things.
Yep.
A lot of times it's that. It's unexpected calls. It's emails. It's other business-related stuff. Unfortunately, there's also another side to it, right? It's Facebook, it's distractions, it's text messages, it's playing games on your phone, whatever your thing may be. Those little things come up and distract us throughout the day. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. If you've heard of him or not, he's an amazing marketing mind. I'll be totally honest with you, the way he speaks is a little in your face. So if you watch videos and you look him up, be ready for that. But there's so much truth in what he's saying. And so I love in this quote talking about so many people are not squeezing every minute out of every day. And he's talking about, you know, with social media and these distractions and those sort of things, you take a super long lunch because you can, right? You're checking Facebook and Instagram and all of a sudden you spent 2 hours of your day doing that. What I loved about this quote the most is that last part. Most people are worrying about their years while they're wasting away on their days. And I think that's a great way to put it. It's a really simple thing of going, are we being as effective as we possibly can in that, right?
Well, and we know over and over and over again, every business leader will tell you this, that if you don't have a plan in place, then you're planning to fail. It's the way it goes. None of us have enough hours in the day to do all of the things we want to do. And to be fully balanced people, right? We both have families and kids. We know that you guys have families. And even if you don't have families, you have things that you want to do outside of running your business. And being able to be really strategic makes sure that you can have that balance, that you can do your work and be focused on it and then put it aside and go home.
Yep. So we're going to focus on that today. And we actually want to start, we're going to ask you guys a poll as well here, just of how are you with your time management, right? Everybody has different aspects of this, are good at different parts of this. So I'm going to have Alicia go ahead and launch the poll here. Go ahead and vote.
Take a quick second. Let us know. And you know, there's no judgment here. We're all in it. Listen. I told Kevin earlier that someone was messaging me on Facebook for business yesterday. So I kept having to go back to Facebook to answer those messages. And did I get distracted? Every single time.
Oh, you did? Oh, geez.
Yes. We're human. It's okay.
Well, and I think what's interesting about all this stuff too is even day to day, right? I'll have some days where I'm so focused. I get so much done. I feel great. And then the next day I get done with my day and I'm like, what did I even finish today? Right?
Exactly.
You get so in the weeds with some of these different things. So we've got lots of votes coming in, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, we appreciate your honesty there. We're at about 65% voted. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll so we can keep chugging along. We want to make sure we're respectful of everyone's time. So we have 2%. I know where every minute is going.
We need to give you a round of applause.
We're at 19% with I manage pretty well. 10% my job makes time management difficult. We understand not everyone's situation lets you plan out your day, especially if you're in the service industry.
Oh, absolutely.
And then 63% I could use some improvement. We're right there with you. I'm right here. And then 17% my days are a disaster.
And that's honestly, this is great. We appreciate your honesty with all that sort of stuff. That's exactly why we're focusing on this topic, because you're not alone. As you just saw in that poll, a lot of people are feeling the exact same way. So let's jump into some real, actual time management techniques. And you may have heard of one or two of these, but we're going to hopefully introduce some new ones that you can start to digest a little bit. So the first one here is a really neat technique that I learned about called the Pomodoro effect. Essentially what this is through studying, through looking at the brain, through researching a lot of people, we've learned something that we're not very good at as humans, and it's multitasking. Even when we think we're the best, my wife and I talk about this all the time. I think women are a million times better at this than I am, but we're just not good at it. We get distracted so easily. How many times have you been doing chores in your house and picked something up and walked into another room and then you put that thing down and start doing something else, right? We get distracted so easy. And that's exactly what this technique is all about. So as you can see with the clock here, the idea behind this is that you focus on one thing at a time and you really focus for a set amount of time. So what you do is you actually can use your phone or get a timer or something and set an actual timer. So the first one is you set it for 25 minutes. You're going to focus on just this one topic, this one piece of work for 25 minutes with no distractions. Turn your email off. Turn your instant messaging off. Put your phone away. Whatever you've got to do to focus, you do that. Then that second little chunk, that little sliver there, is a 5-minute break. Now the key with this is, just like you're focusing all on, you have to focus all off. Don't go over when the timer goes off. Pause what you're doing. Take that 5 minutes. It's really important to let your mind walk away from that and have that break. Now here's one of the things, we were joking about this too. Don't let that 5 minutes turn into 15 minutes, into 20 minutes. We're all guilty of that as well. So make sure that when that 5-minute timer goes off, we're back on for another 25 minutes. But this allows us to refocus each time, but also give our minds those breaks that are really important so that we're not getting burnt out and we're getting overwhelmed with that.
Yep.
So it's really great. I think it's a great way, if that's something that you struggle with multitasking and some of those sort of things, the Pomodoro effect is amazing for that. Do that in 25-minute segments. And I've even started playing with that this week, and it's been great. It's been really interesting to see, wow, I can focus so much better on that.
That's true. So one of the other tools that is a really, really great way to help you focus your time is the Eisenhower decision matrix. So people would ask Dwight Eisenhower how he was able to get so much done. And this is his solution. And we've talked about this lots at BombBomb before, especially when it comes to time blocking and making time for your videos, because we hear from people all the time, I know I should be doing more video. I know I need to do more video. And yet it just gets pushed to the back burner because you have these things that are pulling at your attention. So you have this cross section of these different options. The first one is important and urgent. Obviously, these are the things that you are going to do today. Whether it's you're going to write it down on the list to make sure that you get it done before the end of the day, or whether it's you need to do that in the moment. But these are the things, that client that calls you and needs an answer right away, or whatever those are, you're going to do them right away. And then you have these important but not urgent. And this is where I would put a lot of your videos, especially some of the pre-recorded and evergreen options we're going to give you today. You want to make sure that you actually schedule a time to do these, because it's going to bring value to your business. But if you don't schedule it, they're going to keep getting pushed to the back. And with some of the evergreen stuff we're going to talk about today, these are actually going to save you a lot of time if you schedule the time to do it.
Yeah, some other great things that fit in this section too that I think are always important to think about is, what are things that are going to advance my career? Right? And take me to the next step, help me grow within my business, whether you're in a company where you're wanting to move up, whether you're owning your own company and wanting to grow it. There's so many things that you have to pay attention to. These are some of those long-term things that you don't want to lose, but are very important, right, in helping you grow from that standpoint.
Personal development, right? If one of your focuses this year is more podcasts or reading, I know reading is one of my focuses. I'm wanting to go deeper on some of these things that I know, but I know there's more depth to. I have to time block that reading time, right? I've got 3 kids, right? When I get home from work, it's not like a leisurely, pour a glass of wine and read.
Just relax.
It is. He's got a toddler. So that type of career development, you really want to make sure you time block for it. Now, you've got this not important and urgent. And Kevin and I were talking about this before, this delegate idea. Now, we know that a lot of you are running your own business. You're entrepreneurs. You don't have a team of people that you can delegate things to. But there are some of these things that I would encourage you to start thinking about hiring someone for, because there are things that maybe aren't important in the sense that should take your energy at this exact moment, but long term there's a value there. Tom Ferry talks about, if you don't know Tom Ferry, he's a real estate coach, but he talks about the fact that you should pay someone to do things that they're good at so that you can focus on the things that you're good at. So if you're really, really good at taking care of customers and that's your focus, is you're providing the service, if you're a lender and you're pushing those contracts through, or if you're an agent and you're taking people out to see houses, that should be the focus of your energy. And some of those marketing pieces, you might need to delegate to someone else. And we actually do, Prompt is a great tool to help you with some of those marketing pieces, right? Like, we're a marketing company. You can delegate.
That's actually what we're good at. We know what we're doing in this time. So, and I think what's exciting about that too is somebody that's good at marketing is not going to have to take 5 hours to build this marketing thing, right? So now you're actually being more efficient, opening up time. It's also great. And I love thinking about, maybe you don't have the money to pay for a person to do this. That's what marketing companies, that's what companies that are specific in these areas are great for those opportunities as well.
And then the last one, the not important, not urgent, there are things that you probably should just stop doing.
I love this section.
I really do. If it's not bringing value to your business, if it's not bringing direct value to you, stop doing it. It's really easy. Just cross it off your list.
And just let it go, which is great. And it's a good reminder, because I think anybody wants to accomplish as much as they can and do as much as they can. Sometimes this bottom quadrant are the things that you spend a lot of time doing just to feel like you're getting things done when it's not actually moving you forward, right? So let go of them. They're not going to be the big things that are important or urgent, and it's great from that sense. So the third technique that we also want to talk about is time blocking. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about time blocking. This is not a new idea by any stretch of the imagination, but we've recently, as we've started practicing some of these things, learned some specific details about it that I think are really, really helpful. So as you can see here, this is actually a snapshot of my calendar that I took. And thankfully, I actually do a few of these things, so that made me feel good. But the key point there, number one, being strategic with these blocks. This is a new thing that's really helped me focus and be a lot more efficient with time blocking. Think about when is going to be the most effective time to do this task. Don't just schedule out random time for it, right? So some of the examples that we've, Alicia and I have chatted about is don't plan the first 2 hours of your Monday morning to call people. People are just getting into work just like you. They're going to be checking emails. They're catching up from the weekend as well. You're not going to get a lot of answers. You're not going to make a lot of connections on a Monday. Or you even brought up Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, right? Don't be asking people. Be really respectful of their time and what they're going to be doing as well. It's going to really benefit you in the ways that you're able to focus on that. So time block, map it out.
And I think knowing yourself is important as well. Some people are really creative first thing in the morning. So if you have to put creative energy into something, then great. Time block for that in the morning when you've had your coffee and you're not bogged down by the day yet. Or maybe it's recording videos. This was one of the things we talked about. We know that for a lot of you, those insecurities start to creep in when you sit down to record your videos about, looking tired or not looking your best. Well, great. Time block out a point to record your videos when you do feel fresh, right? I know for me personally, if someone asks me close to the end of the day, if marketing is like, hey, Alicia, can you do a promo video? Well, my makeup doesn't look fresh. My hair doesn't look fresh. I feel a little bit haggard from all day. I don't want to record that video. But time blocking it for first thing in the morning when I feel fresh and bright, excellent use of that time.
Well, and it's so easy. I think one of the hard things about videos, it's easy to say, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that later, right? And at 4:30 on the day, that's a real easy thing to say, I'll take care of that tomorrow. Well, now we aren't doing it. We pass it off day after day. So time block that on knowing yourself and knowing when's a good time for you to do that. Number two, super easy, different colors. They say this is just really important for the way that you process your calendar. You can see, for example, I've actually got webinars and things in bright red. Those are important things for me with my work that I have to make sure I schedule. I have this nice calm blue for the things that I can move around if I need to, right? If my day gets a little crazy and I need to move them. Yellows for meetings. So just find whatever makes sense for you, but make sure that you do prioritize that with different colors, because then you can get a really quick, easy, digestible snapshot of your week and know what's flexible, what needs to be in, some of those sort of things. Now, the other thing that I love about time blocking, and this is something that I just recently learned, and that's why I want to share it with you guys, it's the Benjamin Franklin cup. It's an analogy that he put together. And essentially he says your day is a cup. It's like a cup of water, right? We've got 3 different levels of things that we plan throughout our day. So we have little things, easy things, maybe not the most important things. That's like sand, right? Just little simple things. The second level is going to be little pebbles. So they're slightly more important. We want to make sure we get them done. But then the third level is rocks. So they're the big rocks. Here's the problem with what a lot of people do with their time blocking is we do all the sand because it's easy to get done. We feel good. We feel accomplished. Then we do all the pebbles. Then all of a sudden we only have time for 1 rock. And all of a sudden we don't have that time to fill up that cup because the cup's already full. What he says is, and this is where the time blocking comes in, plan those rocks out. Put those rocks into your cup first. We can fill sand. We can fill pebbles around those bigger objects. But the space doesn't allow for that with your day and with your time. So I love that. I love simple things that kind of make sense. And so that was a great one. So with your time blocking, block those most important things that you want to do first, and then you can pepper in the littler stuff around that. It's just a really easy way to work from that standpoint.
Great example here of the time blocking is providing updates. So this is one of the areas where a lot of our clients say that using video to provide updates saves them a ton of time.
Gosh, yeah.
And there's a few reasons why this is such a time saving. Well, number one, he time blocks for it. So he knows it's going to happen. But in addition to that, video gives us the ability to communicate more effectively. When someone watches a video, they retain 95% of the information as opposed to only 10% when reading it in text. So the person that you're sending this update to, number one, they're going to absorb more of the information when they watch it in a video, which means they're going to have less questions. In addition to that, it's easier for us to explain things over video, to provide an update. Because you have the full breadth of your communication, you're able to save yourself time because you're not having to figure out how to type out this email to give everyone the information. The other reason why our clients love this for updates is that if you've ever spoken to someone on the phone and given them important information about what was happening, and then they conveyed that information to maybe a partner or a colleague, and you realize that you're playing a game of telephone, and then now you have to spend more time going back to that person, correcting the information or trying to make sure everyone is on the same page. You record that video, they can share it to everyone. Everyone has the exact same information. So this is one of our friends, he's a lender, and you'll hear in the video that he says, I do this every Thursday. So pay attention to how he's providing updates using video.
Hey, what's up, Trent? Tyler Baker, Movement Mortgage. Hey man, just told you the other day we talked on the phone, I do these updates every single Thursday. Most of the time I do them by video, put a face to the name, all that stuff. Anyway, just your Thursday update for the new construction that my buyers, Jim and Angela Williams, are purchasing.
So it's simple. I think that's another thing that I love about this is sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves. That's a cool snapshot right there. I don't know how he did that feature, but yeah. But it's not super fancy. He's sitting at his desk. He's got his headphones in. He's just talking. But he sends this to the agent. He sends it to the clients. He connects everybody through that. You know, you touched on all those things, brings that clarity and all that. So just to recap real quick, there's the three that we touched on today is the Pomodoro effect, so the 25-5, so you can remember it that way. Eisenhower matrix with the different quadrants of importance and urgency, and then time blocking. Block those things that are the most important. Now, I think something that's really important to think about this is, one, you're not going to implement all of these things. I think that would be overwhelming. It would probably slow you down if you're trying to do it all. But the other important thing is there's not a right way to do this, right? Everybody's going to have their own thing that makes sense to them. In fact, I use time blocking with a little bit of the Eisenhower matrix. I do use the important and urgent and block. That's how I determine what those big rocks are for me, right? So pull the pieces that make the most sense for you. If you're not sure, try one. Just start doing one. Say, oh, I can pull out my timer and focus on this for 25 minutes. Try it for a couple of days or a day. If that did not work for you, if you feel like it was distracting, try a different one, right? So just know that there's no right way. There's no certain thing you have to focus on.
And it's not going to hurt our feelings if one of those strategies doesn't work for you.
Yeah, we will not be offended. In fact, we'll never know. So,
so one of our biggest focuses here at BombBomb that is geared towards saving you time and letting you scale yourself more effectively is our integrations. We work where you work. We know that regardless of what industry you are in, if you have to keep leaving where you are working to go into another system, it's going to slow you down. You're less likely to do it. So we've really put a lot of effort into making sure that we're integrated in a lot of the places where you're working. Now, we're going to highlight just a couple of the integrations today, but guess what? We have more integrations being built out on a regular basis. If you go to bombbomb.com/integrations, again, that's bombbomb.com/integrations. Alexa, if you want to throw that in the chat for them, it's going to list out all of our integrations as well as they are clickable. So when you click on it, it's going to give you the specifics so you know specifically how that integration integrates into the places where you're already working.
And we've got a lot of instructional videos on how to set them up. So we walk you through a lot of that sort of stuff. They're usually pretty easy to get going. So
So one of our integrations that's been around for a while but just got a brand new facelift is our Salesforce integration. We're really, really excited about it.
Yeah, what's great about this is anybody who's worked in sales or any of that, I mean, you've probably heard the term Salesforce. They're a massive company. So this is a great way for us to start working with as many of you out there as we can, right? Because there's so many people. So there's a couple of different aspects to this. But first and foremost, I want to show you that we actually bring your live video recorder into Salesforce. So you can literally hit that red record button within a contact or a lead, right? Wherever you work out of the system, you can go in and record. Now you can see, I actually pulled this out of Alicia's account in our Salesforce. So it automatically plugs Alicia Baruti demo in there.
Yeah.
You can add other people if you want to, but it's automatically already connecting with your Salesforce. So you can record and send without ever leaving that contact page at all.
Yeah.
Now the great thing is, we're talking about evergreen videos, right? We're talking about scalability. It's like we planned this or something. We want you to be able to use this stuff. So you can actually connect directly to your video library as well. So there was a little button that just clicks and takes you to your library. You can scroll through. Now this is where naming videos always comes in huge.
Yeah.
I know we've been with BombBomb for a long time. I've got almost 7,000 videos.
Yep.
I'm sure you've got a ton in there as well.
I'm almost up to 8,000.
Thinking of scrolling through my videos to find one is like, no way, that's not scalable. If you've got a name, there's that search bar. So you can literally type in the name for it, search for it, insert it, and send it out directly from Salesforce. We haven't left Salesforce this entire time.
And we're going to give you guys some ideas for evergreen videos as we get through this content here. So get your pen ready, because you are going to want to jot down some of these ideas for evergreen videos that are really going to help you save some of that time.
Yeah. Now the other part of this that I think is great with Salesforce is you can also bring your branding in. Whether it's one of these templates that we build for you for happy birthdays, for business stuff, for holidays, whatever it may be, or if you've gotten custom branding built for you by our team here. We've got an amazing arts team that does all of the design stuff for you guys. So if you haven't done that, we can do that for you. But just know that you can bring that in straight through Salesforce. So now you've got that beautifully designed email with your video in it. Again, straight from Salesforce, which is just killer. And then the last piece here is the tracking. Many of you who have been with us for a while know how pivotal this is. What I love about this is I actually used to work on the sales. We both did. Worked on the sales team here. Being able to know who's engaging and who to call and who to contact. I mean, talk about using your time wisely. Holy cow, this is huge. We bring that all straight into your activities in Salesforce. So you can see here, I can see BombBomb event, opened email, played video, opened email. I can see all these different interactions directly on that contact. I don't have to leave to be able to see that. And then I know when I need to call and when I need to follow up.
And I want to encourage you to look at that tracking before you start doing your follow-ups as well. Because we're talking about saving you time and scaling yourself. And being able to focus your follow-up time, no matter what industry you're in, on the people that are actually engaging with you is going to save you time, because they're more likely to be ready for a conversation. If you're only focusing your time on people that aren't opening your emails and watching your videos during that follow-up to try and get them back on the phone, you're not leveraging your time as wisely. So really, when you're talking about doing the follow-ups to those sales conversations, focus on the people that are watching your follow-up videos, that are opening your emails, because they're going to be more likely ready to actually have that next step conversation with you.
Imagine if you were able to call people that wanted to talk to you, right? It's like every person's dream in business. And that's what the tracking helps with. It's so helpful in that regard.
So another one of our integrations is our Total Expert. Now, this is specific to mortgage professionals, but again, right inside of Total Expert, you can send to one person or you can send to an entire list. We've got a screenshot here. You can see, you can go through and check specific boxes so that you can send to a group of people or just one person. You have access to that live video recorder, so you can record directly inside of Total Expert. Same thing with video library. You have access to all of your videos. So those frequently asked questions, the evergreen videos, what to expect next, all right inside of Total Expert, so that when the moment arises for one of those videos that you already time blocked and recorded, you can add it into an email in just a matter of seconds. Same thing inside of Total Expert, you have access to templates. So either if your organization has set up templates, or if you've built your own templates, you can have your branding, you have any pertinent information already in the body of the email, and then you can add a fresh video to that email template or a pre-recorded video. And then of course, tracking, again, right inside of Total Expert, you have your tracking available so that you know who's engaging.
Now, one thing I do want to mention just about all of our integrations in general is they're all different. The beautiful thing about integrations is it takes two people to make it work, right? So we help out the other company that we're integrating with, but there are some limitations as far as where we can connect, what we can bring in. So I don't want you to think they're all going to be exactly the same. That's what that integrations page is going to be great for, is to find out exactly what each of them includes. So definitely visit that. I've seen a couple of chats come in about specific situations and those sort of things.
Yeah.
And in fact, the other cool thing, and this is going to be the last thing we're talking about with integrations, is what if I go to the integrations page and I don't see my system on there? What if my CRM's not on there or whatever it may be? Well, this is where our Chrome extension is really, really going to come into play.
Yep.
And we're actually going to walk you through this live. If you use the Google Chrome web browser, you actually can add this to your browser. Doesn't matter what page you're on. You can be anywhere in the internet and click one little button. In fact, you can see it up at the top there, the little BombBomb logo. It's got a little highlight on it now. When you click that, it's going to open up our Chrome extension, and we're actually going to do a quick live walkthrough of that.
Yeah.
So you can see exactly what the capabilities are, how that can connect, what some of the options and those sort of things are. So
stop our screen share for just a second so I can go into my Chrome extension here. You just got to give us a second while I click around.
Yeah, I love the Chrome extension. And in fact, we're going to show you some of these details. For those of you that have used it, we actually just got a new facelift for our Chrome extension as well. You're going to see a couple of differences. And there's more stuff in the works too.
Yep.
So know that we're constantly iterating to make this work as effectively for you. So yeah, welcome to
I just want to make sure that I'm sharing the right screen right now. Can someone just tell me in chat if you're seeing LinkedIn on my screen? It doesn't, it's not showing. Yeah, okay, awesome. Thank you. We're good to go. All right. So right here, you can see that bomb icon up in the top corner. So this is our Chrome extension. Now, if I click on this, and I decided to do this in LinkedIn so that you could see, because I actually do this all the time, right inside of LinkedIn, because people send me messages in LinkedIn, and I want to be able to respond to them in a video. And that Chrome extension will let you do this anytime you're in a Chrome browser. So if I click on this bomb icon, it's going to go ahead and pop up my BombBomb video recorder, and you see Kevin and I there. So I'm going to press this record button. It's going to give us our countdown as normal. We're going to wave, hello. Now we're recording your video. Now you're going to see a delay. This has nothing to do with anything except the screen share, the webinar software, and all of that. But when I'm done and I save this video, it's going to give me a couple options. So it's going to be just a little bit slow here. There we go. So you have these options here to either copy the link with preview. Now, what this does is this is going to copy that entire animated GIF. And this is specifically for adding it to an email. This is going to copy the HTML code. HTML code is specific to email. So if you're in a CRM, for example, that doesn't integrate with BombBomb, but you know inside that CRM you can send branded things or images and all of that, then you can copy this HTML just like you see there and paste it right into your CRM, and you're going to have that animated preview that pops up. They're going to be able to press play and watch that video just the same as if you had sent this from inside of Gmail or inside of Total Expert or inside of the BombBomb universe. The other option, if you don't copy the link with preview, is to copy the link. Now, because HTML is specific to email, if you're going to send video messages inside of LinkedIn, inside of Facebook Messenger, inside of Instagram Messenger, wherever you want to do those, you're going to copy the link because those formats don't support HTML. So I just copied the link, and I'm going to paste it right here inside, of this message to Kevin. And you'll see when I press send that Instagram is actually going to go ahead and populate that video thumbnail. Facebook will do the exact same thing for you. So you also, from this Chrome extension, if you don't want to record a video live, you can access your video library. So if I come here and click all videos, it's going to give me my video library. So I could do the same thing. You can grab the video, you can copy the HTML or copy the link from those in your video library as well. And guess what? Those tags, those different folders you have your videos in are accessible there as well.
I get overly excited about folders and organizations, so that part gets me really excited.
Again, it's a time-saving thing though, right? If you've taken the time to actually put your videos into folders inside of your BombBomb web platform, then when you come here into these integrations into your Chrome extension, they're going to be a lot easier to find.
Yep. The other thing too that I do want to mention is this is our consistent video recorder.
Yeah.
You can do screen records from
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
That exact same option. Those of you who are familiar probably saw that little option there. So know that. You can also pull up videos and emails and literally email it from our Chrome extension.
Yep.
It directly takes you into your BombBomb account, so you can send it out with your branding and do all those sort of things. So know that there's a lot of flexibility. I know we've been focusing on more how to use these videos in your platform, those sort of things.
Yep.
But know that there are those options where you can just have your CRM up, email it out of BombBomb real quick, and get back to work doing the next couple things.
Exactly.
So it's all about streamlining, making that stuff as effective as possible for you. So that's the main things that we wanted to cover as far as integrations and connections. But like we promised earlier, we did want to mention that we are going to show you guys some evergreen videos. We're going to show you some things that are going to make sense, some styles of videos. Now, for those of you that are not familiar, what is an evergreen video? Well, an evergreen video is all about a video that you can use time and time again, right? So something that is not going to mention John, Carol, Stacy, somebody specifically, but you can use that. And here's an amazing example of this. This is Andy Alger. He's been a huge friend of BombBomb's for a long, long time. But he uses this evergreen style video in his CRM.
Yep.
So one of the cool things is the CRM that he was using actually allows him to have autoresponders that go out. So anytime a new lead comes in, he's got an email that goes out to them. Well, we know if you can personalize that, it feels so much more impactful to that recipient. So here's a great way of where he's using that style of video so it feels personal to the recipient, but you'll hear at the very beginning he doesn't mention a name, he doesn't mention specifics to what they're specific.
Hey, Zillow contacted me. Just let me know that you might want to get just a bit of an estimate maybe on your home. You're just curious. That's totally fine. That's what we're here for. And what I'd like to do is just get your permission to send you.
So as you heard there, he didn't mention a name. It wasn't specific, but he did mention where they came from, right? Zillow was his example there. So if your CRM, if your platform does support autoresponders, item number one right now, get an evergreen video, plug it in there. I know we work with a lot of people in the auto industry. This is single-handedly the most important thing for you guys because you have so many online leads coming in. Allow yourself to personalize with the evergreen videos. Yeah.
Well, and you can do so much more with the evergreens than just those first touches, right? That lead response is the place where we see people do it most often because we know how important it is to get that first touch so quickly. But there's so much more that you can do to save yourself some time. The updates, we showed an example of that. Now, sometimes updates have to be really specific. However, if you are in lending, if you are in real estate, and you know that the same thing happens in every single process, then you can record an evergreen video to say, hey, your home inspection is coming up this week. This is something to, here's a list of things to make it go more smoothly. Or we'll show you an example with a lender. So updates, really, really great way to do evergreen videos. One of my favorite time-saving evergreen videos is the frequently asked questions, right? Does not matter what industry you are in, you know that there are some questions that you have answered over and over and over again. So take the time to jot those down, right? The next time someone asks you a question that you've answered multiple times, write it down in your notebook, on your timesheet maybe that you need to time block to make a video for this. Because if you can create some of those videos ahead of time, you saw how quick it was to grab a pre-recorded video from the Chrome extension or from your mobile app.
I love that.
The moment someone asks that question, you can grab that video. You're communicating with clarity. You're providing a high level of service, but you already did the work.
Well, and what's beautiful about it is now you're not adding another thing to your list, right? Of going, oh shoot, I've got to answer this question later. Nope, you already did. You're done. It was personal. And here's some of the key things for evergreen videos. We've already talked about most of these, but you record it once, use it time and time again. And the key there is just don't say somebody's name. It would be weird if Alicia got a video from me that said, hey, John, it's Kevin with BombBomb, right? So just keep that in mind. You can still make it feel really personal even without some videos. So let's show them some of these examples. I think there's a great way to show you in real life how these still feel personal here. So
this one is an introduction. And you saw it with Andy's video, the Zillow lead response, but she's just using this to introduce yourself, put the face to a name, it really is a differentiator is really what it comes down to. Especially if you are in an organization where maybe you're in leadership and you're running that office, but you don't have as much hands in the day-to-day. This is a great way for you to still provide a high level of service, still represent your company at a high level, which is exactly what she's doing here.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. It's Ruth from Lawyers Title. I'm the sales manager and vice president, and I just wanted to let you know how much I do appreciate you allowing us to close your contract. Thank you for trusting our clients' selection of title company. Just know that we're going to take exceptional care of you and your client. If there's anything at all that's unique or special that we need to know that affects the closing.
And she just, you can see there, that's stuff that she's probably consistently telling people. I love this for Ruth and for title reps specifically. They don't get a lot of customer time. They don't get a lot of time. In fact, most of the time you have no idea your title company until you're sitting at the closing table, right? True. I'm sure you guys can relate to that in lots of different industries. What a great way to introduce herself. And one other thing I love that she does is she starts to compliment their agent. She compliments the people. She shows her appreciation to the people that chose them. When that gets back to the agent, which it will, they're going to say, oh my gosh, I got this great video from Ruth. She said, you guys are awesome. They work with you all the time. That really reflects really highly on you that you're so appreciative of that. And so I love some of these little nuances that are in there as well.
If you're on sales leadership, this is a great way to maintain consistency with your customers as well. We do a lot in the auto industry, and we know that auto sales has really high turnover. So if you are a sales leader, if you're a sales manager for a dealership, this is a great way for you to bridge that relationship with clients as well and make sure that they know that you there as a sales manager are invested in them and care about them as well. Absolutely. And maintain that relationship.
Yeah, I love it.
Another great evergreen video is a product walkthrough, especially if your product is digital, just like our friends here, because it can be really hard to try and explain a digital product on plain text. And to have this either on your website or to be able to send to someone really quickly gives you an opportunity to show exactly what you're all about. And again, in a scalable way. Not everyone wants to schedule a product demo with you.
Sure.
They might not be ready to schedule a product demo until they've kind of seen a little bit about what you do. So these are our friends here. They're using the screen recorder as well, so that he's able to kind of go over exactly what it is that they do and bring human context to it. And again, you'll hear that he does not say someone's name.
Hello, my name is Brian. I want to make a quick video about what we do here at Open Space. So in a nutshell, we help you capture pictures of your entire job site on a daily basis without disruption, essentially by putting like a GoPro-sized camera on your super or PE's hard hat, so that when they're walking the job site, we capture an image every half a second. And then even in a GPS denied environment where we don't have a GPS signal, we're going to be able to pin all of these photos to your 2D PDF floor plans using AI technology.
Now, could you imagine trying to type that out on a web page to explain that?
Oh, can you imagine trying to understand that if you received that, right? That's what I love about it, is I watched that video one time and I was like, oh, totally get it. I 100%, not something I need right now, but for people that do, people that are in construction, oh my gosh, you've saved them time, you've respected their time, and you've also made a great way that differentiates you, that explains it. Now, what I think about is cool about this as well is for those of you that may not have a direct product, right? Something to show them. Well, guess what? You still have a product. It's you, right? You are your product for a realtor, for a lender, for an auto salesperson, right? You've got cars and things. You can absolutely do car walkthroughs. That's something that we see all the time. But show them you. Why are you different than the person that's on the park bench, right? Exactly. Why should they choose you versus the other thousands of other people that may be in the same field as you? Show them. Bring that clarity. You are the product in that, which I think is always a good reminder. So the last one here, and Alicia already introed this and talked about this in a great way. It's those frequently asked questions. Now, this one is also a process update. Like she mentioned before, this is a lending team. They do a couple of things in this video that I think are just so cool. And so I want to kind of play it first, and then we can talk through some of those things. But yeah, watch this as a frequently asked question here.
Hi, this is Kelly from the Chris Brown Mortgage team. I was checking my email and I do see your appraisal has come in and met contract price. That's awesome.
Congratulations. That's one of the bigger steps that, one of the hardest steps to overcome during this process. So congratulations on getting through that.
Yeah, that, as Tony mentioned, that's a big step, and you need to reach out and either give your agent a big hug or a high five or something, because when they don't meet the contract price, when the appraisals don't, it can open up a whole can of worms that you aren't even going to have to worry about. So that is a definite blessing. So we're going to keep your momentum, keep moving forward, and let's keep that target of that closing date.
It's so good. There's so many things I could talk about with this video, but obviously that's something when you're a lender, you get through the appraisal process at one point or another, every single client that you have.
Yep.
Right? So this was a huge area for them to go, okay, we can send a congratulations. It makes the client feel really good. Like, yes, we got through. We're one step closer to that dream of owning our own. It introduces the whole team.
Yep.
I love that piece of this. Maybe they haven't worked with all of you. Maybe they haven't only worked with one or the other. Well, now you get to know the entire team. So if there are multiple people contacting them, they know who it is. They're building that. There's so many things in this example that I think are just awesome to save you time, introduce, and have that deeper clarity, that deeper appreciation, that deeper understanding that we've been talking about as well.
Well, and for them, this was one of those frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
They were getting a ton of questions about this step in the process, and they've recorded this video again one time that they get to use over and over and over.
So keep that in mind with these evergreen videos. Just keep in mind some of those sort of things. What are questions you're frequently asking? Write them down. Time block a little time to record those videos and just have them in your back pocket. You'll be shocked at how much they'll come up and how much you can reuse those.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So our recap, well, we talked about some time management tools that we can all benefit from, right? We're all focused right now. It's the beginning of the year. This is a great time to start good habits and really focus on these tools that we know work. There's a lot of proven benefit to them, but figure out what works for you with managing your time.
Yep. And you're going to reach your end of the year goals by doing the day-to-day stuff, right? Making those daily changes. We all know that we had a great year last year. We worked really hard to reach those goals, but I bet that almost every single one of you out there that's watching this has higher goals this year.
Yeah.
Most people I know don't go, I'm fine with that. I'll do a little less and I'd be fine. How are we going to reach those higher goals? What are we going to do differently? It's going to be more effective, right? It's going to be managing our time. So keep that in mind for that higher goal. I absolutely love that.
Number 2, work where you are already working. Leverage the things at your disposal to help you scale yourself. Again, if we do not have a direct integration with the place that you are spending your time, that Chrome extension is there to help you. If you're working in one of those places where we already have an integration and you need help getting it set up, awesome. That's what our support site is for. So take a look at those integrations. See if any of those logos on the integration page look familiar to you, because there's a good chance that we might be able to scale you there, get you some time back in your day from not having to log into multiple places. And then, of course, that last one, make some evergreen videos. Just time block out some time to record some of those videos that you know you're going to be able to use over and over and over again.
And in fact, that's really going to be our challenge to you guys today. Is we've mentioned this a couple of times, but what is that one email or that one answer that you find yourself sending more than anything else? And just start there. I don't want you to feel like, oh man, I got to go record 25 evergreen videos today to be able to be effective with this. You don't. If you can record one, that one that I'm answering twice a week, 3 times a week, maybe even every day for some of you, depending on your industry, imagine how much every time you type that email, if you don't have to do that, well, you just save yourself 10, 15 minutes every week, right? That compounds over weeks and months and years with literally spending 5 minutes to record one video.
Yep.
So think deeper about that. What is that one thing? If you want to send it to us, we love seeing your examples. We would never complain about that. But this is more for you guys to save that time to be able to be as efficient as possible with all of that.
Yeah. So that's your challenge for today, is to write it down and then actually record the video.
Yeah.
Get it done. See if that saves you time. And then you're going to want to do more. So we are going to take some time to answer some questions. I know that there's lots of questions. Real quick, though, If you are attending the webinar and you have not signed up for a BombBomb account, if you've just kind of been watching and you're ready to jump in and you want to take this to the next step, go to BombBomb.com/next step. And it's going to give you an opportunity to sign up for a free trial, or if you don't need a free trial, if you're like, I'm ready, I want to start recording videos, I need to save myself some time, then you can get started and sign up for a BombBomb account right there. So if you don't have BombBomb, you want to give it a try, BombBomb.com/next steps. And that gives you a chance to sign up for a free trial. If you're already a customer, if you're ready to go, if you're excited, we thank you for joining us today. We are going to take some time to answer some questions, though. So bear with us. We're going to jump into the Q&A here and see what we can do. If you've been holding on to your questions, go ahead and throw it in there. There are a couple things we mentioned, though. So Alexa or Aaron, if you want to throw these back in the chat while we're taking a look at these questions, our support site, you can search topically. So if you want to search Salesforce or Chrome extension or things like that, support.bombbomb.com, go there, you can search topically. Our integrations page, bombbomb.com/integrations. This is where you can go check at those specific integrations. I did see a question that I want to answer about ideas for evergreen videos. We have a few different action plans that actually give you specific ideas. We have a real estate action plan, we have a mortgage action plan, and we have a sales action plan. Alexa, if you can put those links in the chat as well. In those action plans, we actually give you some ideas for some strategic evergreen videos that will save you time. In all three of those action plans, there are some ideas and training points on those strategic evergreen videos.
Yeah, and I did see one question come up in chat, and then we'll dive into the Q&A a little bit deeper here. Just kind of refreshing, what is the evergreen style of the video? It's a video that's reusable, right? So just to make sure everybody totally understands what that style of video is, it's a video you record once, can use time and time again. So you don't name somebody specifically, but you do have specific instances or frequently asked questions. So that's where the evergreen style comes in, is that it's usable over and over again. I did also see, hopping into Q&A here, there was a question of, can you describe or send a video, fixed video set up on a desk to make it easy to do a video when needed? They're saying, I don't want to do green screen. I don't want to have to set up all those things. Well, you could not have come to a better place, because I don't know that BombBomb will ever tell you to use a green screen. I'm not saying that's wrong in certain situations. If you're doing that, keep doing that, but we don't want to put that pressure on you. In fact, we've actually found the simpler the video, the more effective the video. And it goes back to really just you being you, the humanity, right? Those things about you that make you different than anybody else, that's what we want to come across in video. So we're huge on use your cell phone. Use a webcam like we're using right now. Have those things at your disposal, and they're going to make you use it more when it's right there.
So a couple points here on this, and I love that you said, you fed me my favorite line, basically, because you said, I haven't started yet on the videos. And so my most important piece of advice is, do not create hurdles to recording your first video. If you feel like you need to have a desk set up, don't. Right? Now, can you get a little desktop tripod? Absolutely. If you want to get a little tripod for your phone so that you don't have to hold it, great. But don't let that be the thing that keeps you from recording videos. If you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but I don't know which one I should get before I start doing videos, you're already creating a hurdle for yourself. Just hold your phone. It's okay. Now, lighting-wise, we all pretty much keep lamps at our desk. There is a light behind my webcam right now that I turn on and off if I'm recording a video. That's it. It's a desk lamp that I bought at Target.
It doesn't have to be fancy at all.
I do not use a fancy mic setup for most of my videos. I only do this for webinars. I really just use my phone and my webcam right there. And like I said, I think I have almost 8,000 videos in my account. And I've, other than the occasional selfie stick that I use when I'm doing a marketing video, walking and talking, for the most part, it's just the phone or the webcam.
Use the tools you have, right? Don't allow those hurdles to hold you back. If you start sending out videos and you want to improve from there, great. You've built the routine. You're starting to build that, and then we can go. But initially, like Alicia said, between us, we have 15,000 videos. I have never spent money on an external anything.
Yep.
So don't feel like that's a necessity by any means. It's a great question.
Yeah, great question though. So Rick asked, can we have a list of contacts that, hold on, I'm a little bit lost here. A list of contacts that includes a list of contacts. Rick, if you're asking if you can send to an entire list of contacts inside of BombBomb, you absolutely can. From the web platform, you can upload a list. If we have an integrated CRM, a lot of times it'll sync over your contacts, your groups, your lists or whatever directly into BombBomb. So I'm not sure about the contacts within the contacts piece there, but if you're asking if you can load contacts into BombBomb so that you can send to an entire list, then yes, absolutely.
So there's a great question from Marlinda here about questions about a video posted in a Facebook private group. Can it be forwarded on? Within Facebook, I believe they can share that message, correct?
Yep,
if it is
absolutely.
a video, that can be shared to other Facebook things. They're not necessarily going to be able to pull that video and start emailing it and doing all those sort of things.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to download the video.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to easily copy the link and put it into another group or email the way you saw me copy the link. There is a way for them to share that video or forward it, but that's because it's just like any other video or
It's
any
like
other
any other
email.
post on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's not treated any different.
Yeah.
So.
I did see a question in here about where do you store your evergreen videos that you can find easily. You want to probably do those within the web platform. That's probably the best way to organize and title your different evergreen videos. So where on one hand, we're saying for time saving, work in the places where you're working, right? Stay inside Salesforce, stay inside of Total Expert. When you're actually setting up those evergreen videos and titling them and categorizing them in your library, you're going to do all of that from inside your BombBomb web platform. You can manage your video library really, really easily. You can create different folders and just drag videos right into those folders, all from within your BombBomb web platform.
Yep. Crystal had a great question about uploading videos with the template into CRMs. This is going to be really dependent on the actual integration itself.
Yep.
So the ones we showed you with Total Expert and with Salesforce, you can bring the templating in. I will tell you from my experience, a lot of the CRMs that I've looked at are going to take our video and put it into a template that's built within the CRM itself. So you can still have your branding and those sort of things in. We're not going to interrupt that. I wish I could give you 100% answer on that, but it really is dependent. So go to the integrations page and look at the specific ones that you're looking at. And that will give you a little bit more detail on some of the specifics there. But that is possible, kind of depending on what you're using and how you want to set that up.
Yep. So Gene asked a great question. He wants to know where he can get the Chrome extension. Again, if you go to bombbomb.com/integrations, you can get it there. If you go to support.bombbomb.com and just search Chrome extension, it'll give you all of the details for setup, walk you through setup, and all of that.
I've seen a couple of questions come through about different tracking questions. So one of them that I saw was, can I send to a list of people in Gmail and start to see who's opening and some of that sort of stuff? The way our integration is with Gmail is this is going to show you multiple recipients if you're sending to a lot of people. So one of the things I always encourage people to do, I do all my one-to-one sending through Gmail because it's where I am, it's easy. I do a lot of my mass sending actually through BombBomb because it allows us to actually send an individual email to each person, which therefore allows us to track it a little bit differently, right? When we're in control of that, we can handle it differently. That's what would allow you to actually be able to know John Smith versus Terry opened it, right? Or who engaged or who played. And then in fact, this is also kind of a fun new announcement as well. We've just added some elements to our tracking. Literally this week that some of you may have started to see and been able to turn on. It's our video percentage played tracking. So it's another element that we're adding in. So you can actually see, you know, this is how much of the video they watched versus did they play it or not play it. We're starting to give some deeper elements into that. But that would all be found in your BombBomb account. So if you go into there, that's where I would do more of the mass sending from, if that answers. So I just want to address one other one about tracking not feeling as consistent on Gmail. Honestly, that would be a great thing to contact our support team about. We've got a really, really great customer care team that's here to answer all those questions. they would know if there's anything weird going on with that, if there's any consistencies. They can even look at settings on your computer to make sure that things are showing up the right way. So yeah, absolutely call into us, go to our support page. All the contact info is on support.bombbomb.com, and you can reach out to them. They will be much higher in expertise on that answer than I would be.
And I always say, if something feels broken, if something is frustrating you, that's when you should reach out to support, because A, it might be broken and we can say really quickly, oh, this is broken, let's fix this here. Or there might be something broken that we don't know about yet.
Sure.
So if you reach out to our support team and say, hey, this is something that doesn't seem to be working right, that's great, because we can flag it and we know right away and we can start to fix things that way.
Absolutely. And we don't want you to struggle with this stuff, right? I don't want you to fight through feeling like this isn't working for 2 hours when you could call and it might be an easy fix. It might be something we can help with from there. So yeah, don't feel like you have to fight through this stuff on your own. That's exactly what our support team, our care team, our whole support team is here for.
Yeah. Last question that I'm going to answer, and then we're going to close it out because we are at the top of the hour. Craig there in chat said, based on time of day, can I schedule a specific evergreen email? You absolutely can schedule, both from inside of Gmail as well as inside of the web platform and from your mobile app. So there are specific times in the day when you are going to want to make sure that you schedule it out to hit someone's inbox at a certain time of day. Now, you could start Googling best time to send email, and you will find probably a different opinion. For every expert has different opinions, but I like to think about, for myself personally, if it's really important, I want to make sure it's in their inbox first thing in the morning, because I know that people take a look at their email first thing. I want it to be at the top of the inbox, but you absolutely can schedule. Again, if you have questions about scheduling and you're not sure how to do it, support.bombbomb.com. You can just search for schedule and it'll show you exactly how to do it. So if you did not get your questions answered, I'm sorry. I know there's only so much time. But this is what our support site is for. This is what our support team is for. If you came in late and you missed some of the content, we will send out a recap email with the important links that we mentioned as well. So thank you guys so much. I already see thank yous in the chat. This personally is one of my favorite things that I do. I love getting to educate and getting to be with you guys. So thank you for your time today.
And in fact, meet us next month. We're doing this next month. So we're always doing it in the third week of the month. You'll be getting the emails just like you got this month, talking about our theme, talking about the dates and all those sort of things. So we love having you guys here. It's absolutely our pleasure to walk through all of this with you. That's always been a big focus for us, is you're not in this alone. We're excited to walk hand in hand with it. So thank you guys so much for your time. We know how valuable that is. And it's an honor. We love it.
Have a great week. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.